Hey there, wrestling fans. This is John Hoppy. You're listening to the Wrestling Fans Insight. We're even watching it too, because we are live on our X platform at WFI Pod and also on our YouTube channel at Wrestling Fans Insight. And I hope you all had a great couple of weeks here. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do an episode as I didn't get back till late. I had a really awesome, exciting weekend being at ARRL Field Day, doing lots of great things with the ham radio stuff. And man, it's been quite a journey getting into that. But anyways, enough of me. William, you're here
Yes,
with us this weekend.
I am. I'm still in one piece.
So far. But
Yeah.
how have you been?
Just busy dealing with family life. You know the deal.
Yeah. Well, it's never a dull moment. So, it's just
Huh.
there's always going to be something. But I mean, you had a
Oh,
great
oh,
day
you should know the
kinda today.
craziness of Andy. You talk about not having a dull moment. Holy shit.
Almost kind of like in our younger years during the hunts and all that.
So much worse.
Oh, well, hopefully you two recover. Take it easy, rest a little bit. But William, hey, we've been out a week. We're hoping to make a comeback here. Hopefully coming back every Sunday here with a live or recorded. But anywho, great things happened all last weekend too. As we did our show 2 weeks ago, we apparently missed an event and we apologize. We didn't realize the NXT Great American Bash was also going on. So our apologies, but we will cover that here a little bit later. But William, overall, man, what a loaded weekend it was last weekend, would you say?
It was a crazy weekend. I don't know how I even found time to even watch two events, let alone trying to cover everything that happened throughout the week. Like, there was a lot that went on.
Yeah, and as always, NXT tends to deliver more matches in their shows, and I have to say the women really performed excellent. I felt the men could have stepped it up just a little bit more, but
A little bit.
yeah, definitely a little bit.
Yeah,
However,
no. They need to step it up a lot more because the women are fucking kicking their asses.
okay, but anyways, the real big stepper upper was AEW with their event this past weekend with the Forbidden Door, joining forces with New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL, and also Stardom. And William, without really going too far off the rails today, we got to get this hopefully done in good time. But why don't we start off with Night of Champions? Night of Champions, we started off with the King of the Ring finals. Obafemi gets the victory over Jey Uso, become the 2026 King of the Ring. You called
Duh.
this one right on it. I had a feeling Jey Uso was somehow going to surprise us, but that was
Nope.
not the case. But your overall thoughts on how this match went?
It was actually kind of a killer match. I like the fact that they actually made Jay look strong in the match. They went back and forth pretty good. It was a proper ending for Oba.
It was, and I should have known better, but I always had that gut feeling some way, somehow Brock Lesnar would get involved. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. It was Monday Night Raw the night after, and I had a gut feeling it was going to happen, just depending on the circumstance, but it's still happening regardless. Oba now is King of the Ring. We're going to get Hell in the Cell between Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi at SummerSlam, hopefully to finally settle the score, and then Oba can go on to challenge for either the undisputed WWE Championship or the WWE World Heavyweight.
Oba's gonna kill you.
So, William, with that in mind, two questions. One, does Oba Femi finally just retire Brock Lesnar here at
Yeah.
SummerSlam? And
Yes,
two,
absolutely.
which championship do you think Oba should go for?
Honestly, I think it would be more entertaining for everybody to see Oba take down Roman Reigns.
Okay. Fair point. Any particular reason why?
I think it just makes them look all the stronger. Like, there's no point. They got so much controversy going on with Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn that at this point it doesn't make any sense to put Oba in the middle of that.
All right. I agree with you. I think if you're going to keep Oba on Raw, you might as well just have him get in there and defeat Roman.
Yep.
But
that could build a whole bunch of new storylines too.
Well, here's the other thing though. If this is the case, and let's make sure we don't kind of take away from SummerSlam, because Roman Reigns will be defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. Whoever wins that, Oba will definitely be waiting for him if that is the case.
So I really do have some thoughts about the whole Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins thing.
Well, let's get into it.
I think they're finally going to give Roman his flowers, because that has been the one questionable factor throughout their careers, is every win that Roman ever had over Seth Rollins was a tainted win. And I think this is the point where they need to make it solidified.
No, thing is, I don't think Roman's really had a win over Seth yet.
No, he's beat him. Just not without his family jumping in. Because there were 3 or 4 times that Seth challenged him during his 4-year reign. And every time it was a tainted victory.
Oh, that's weird, because when I went back and looked at it, Roman was disqualified for using a chair at Royal Rumble on Seth Rollins. So
tainted victory.
Well, tainted victory for Seth Rollins.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and look. I kind of calling that one out. I don't think
go for it.
I don't think he has a victory. I'll go back and look, but I do like the thoughts with Obafemi going for hopefully Roman Reigns. It's not going to be bad either way, but I think you're right with what they've got going on SmackDown. They've got a whole thing going on with the whole Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
But now we also have got Jey Uso trying to get into the mix, and I'm sure at some point Gunther's going to want to get another shot too as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, we got quite a spaghetti going on right there. So,
and they're still pooping on LA.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that another time, but we're going to transition from the King of the Ring to the Queen of the Ring. Is everyone who, if you are like in a closet or under a rock, Io Sky ends up defeating Liv Morgan to become the 2026 King of the Ring. And shortly after that match, Io Sky made it pretty clear she's going to challenge Liv Morgan at SummerSlam for the Women's World Championship, which I think we all saw that coming. I don't think anyone predicted that she would go after her best friend for the Undisputed Women's Championship on SmackDown, but you never know.
Absolutely not. They got heat between Rhea Ripley and fucking Jade Cargill right now. So,
and that's that. Yeah, I mean there is that right now, but I just don't think it would make sense to have her go after it. But never ever say never in WWE, because they can always change something on the whim. But I think this was pretty much going in the process the way everything was summing up, especially on the programming.
Oh
no! Are you okay over there, Will? Sounds like William might be having a little issue. Are you there? Yeah, sorry, folks. We're having technical difficulties like usual. We'll wait for William to come back here. But thank you for the El Juggalo for coming on. Welcome to the show. We're going to go on to the next match here. Hopefully William is able to rejoin us. Or I went to the wrong match. We now go on to the steel cage match between Seth freaking Rollins, who gets the victory and hopefully the final word on the Vision as he defeated Braun Breaker via pinfall in the steel cage. Uh, I I thought it was a great match. Both men performed really well. Hopefully, this will be the end between the Vision, because I don't know where the Vision's going to go, especially after the promo backstage at Raw. Apparently, the Vision didn't even know Paul Heyman was backstage. So this could be the end of the Vision already, and we just don't have a proper way of ending it other than Seth Rollins just getting that final victory over Braun Breaker. William, are you back with us yet by chance? And it sounds like no, I might be going solo here the rest of the show, as I know he's been having some very big technical difficulties on his remote. Um, Got to ask about your thoughts on JCW. I don't know, because we did not have any time to get to JCW. Again, we've been very busy these last couple of weekends here with personal lives going on. So, but yeah, this would be a good time to actually promote some of our other wrestling family out there. But first off, you can always follow me on the X app at WFI Pod. I also administer the Fans of Pro Wrestling Network at FOPW Network. And also William, you can catch him maybe on the X app if he's ever on there at William Hoppy 8. Be sure to check out our tag team partner, the Brian Adkins, Brian the Hype Ballard. And also be sure to go check out Brian's YouTube channel at Tap Out Talk. He does some great presentations there. He's been on a little hiatus, but be sure to go check out some of his past content. Really great work he does, especially some interviews with Layla and Tito Santana as of last year. Also, be sure to go check out our brother Carlos Estrada. He also is part of the Wrestle Collective group on X. You can follow him at C to the LOS 77 or at Conquer the No. And also, you can follow him on the Wrestle Collective account at DUB, the letter C, worldwide. They do a lot of great stuff on the X, also Discord, YouTube. Be sure to check out all their shows. And also, we have a group chat on the X for the fans of pro wrestling. Just get with me, Carlos, or Brian on how you can be added to that group chat. And last but not least, we also have an X community on the X app under the Fans of Pro Wrestling Network at FOPW Network. Just check out the spotlight there. You can also check out the spotlight on my main at WFI Pod. And if you just give us a heads up, you can get in there, join. Be sure to answer a question I believe we have on there. And as soon as we review your account, you'll be accepted right in. So with William out, he is out now. Hopefully he'll be back shortly. I'm kind of keeping up on him on text too while I'm doing the show. So pardon me if my eyes keep going down, up, down, up. So anyways, let's go on, William. Yeah, he just said 40% his arse according to his headset battery. So there could be a chance he may join us. Again, there could be a small chance he doesn't. So I apologize, folks. We're going to move on to the United States Championship match. Trick Williams defeating Ricky Saints. Really loved the match. Ricky, who's been moving up in the ranks, joining the main roster. I think he's going to be a force to reckon with here shortly. I don't think it'll be long before you see him in the title hunts again. As we all know, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, looking like we're going to see that match come up again, but Carmelo Hayes needs to get a win over Trick at SmackDown to hopefully get that opportunity once again. Trick Williams, really great performer. We've seen him with the history of Carmelo in NXT, where he was Carmelo's lackey in some way, but then comes up, wins the North American Championship, and then wins the NXT Championship along with the TNA Championship. So, you know, great things coming Trick's way. He's a hell of a performer, and I think it's not going to be long before we see him in the world title hunts. And moving on to the Women's United States Championship, this one was kind of a tricky one for us because, as we all know, we've seen it here at the Saturday night's main event. back in December. I think it was November, December. Pardon my memory being a little sketchy there. But we saw Jade Cargill defeat Tiffany Stratton for the undisputed WWE Women's Championship. I was hoping for not a repeat because I think having Tiffany hold the Women's United States Championship would make more sense. Have her a little more, get a little more, get a little more longer on the reign days here as a champion. Just keep those championships with a little more prestige. Tiffany, who's a great in-ring performer, I kind of felt she should still be more in the women's championship picture, but with Rhea now holding that championship, I think she's in a good spot right for where she is at the moment. But in the future here, I wouldn't doubt if we see Tiffany once again become the undisputed women's champion or even possibly the women's world champion on Raw if some way, somehow there's a switch. And going on to, and sorry, let me go back to Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, I know a lot of people, especially the popularity in IWC, they don't feel she belongs in WWE. In some ways, I kind of feel she does. She's more sports entertainment than pro wrestling. And I think she's still got a great future with WWE. And I think eventually she will once again become the top champion in the women's division before long. And moving on to the undisputed WWE championship, I know William had a lot of thoughts because he wanted to get some thoughts going on for how this ended. Sami Zayn becomes the new undisputed WWE champion after getting the pinfall over Cody Rhodes. And we've seen some backstage segments where Gunther was a little upset, not happy with Sami Zayn getting the win because he felt like this should have been a one-on-one between him and Cody. Totally understandable. I would say this was the biggest shocker. I was not even expecting Sami to win this, even though we probably should have not counted out the fact that, you know, this event being in Saudi Arabia, this was more than likely going to happen at some point. I was more likely hoping this would be a WrestleMania moment for Sami because I think that would have been more special. However, I'm not hating the fact that Sami Zayn is the undisputed WWE champion. He has worked really hard. And for all the crap he's put up with in the past in WWE when it's come to dealing with, you know, having to go on WrestleMania, deal with the cast of Jackass and everything and doing all these other stupid stunts, I feel Sami now has solidified a spot for himself as a Grand Slam champion and also will eventually, no doubt, be a WWE Hall of Famer, hopefully in years to come. So, kind of interesting to see, though, Cody come out and Jey Uso come out to talk to Sami shortly after Sami came out and gave his promo at the first part of SmackDown. And we already see Sami kind of doing the chicken shit heel deal, doesn't want any part of Cody or Jey to be the challenger for his undisputed WWE championship. I think this one is going to play out very well, that Sami is going to go full on chicken shit heel like he did before. And I can only anticipate to see what great things we'll see, how Sami will try to keep that championship. I know a lot of the dirt sheets are trying to spread spoilers out there that this championship run for Sami is not going to be very long. I would hope for the different. I would hope they keep this championship on Sami until WrestleMania or even longer, but we'll see how that plays out. I think it's time to let Sami kind of run the reins for a little bit in a way to see what kind of champion he can be and how people can accept it, hopefully. But whew, that was quite the wind in there. Sorry for such a long take. I know it's hard to listen to me babble here, especially with me being co-hostless at the moment. Thanks a lot, William. No, anyways, William, hope you're listening, tuning in. Again, we had another great event on top of it, unfortunately, it was almost well, not almost. It was simultaneous with AEW, CMLL, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Stardom's Forbidden Door. NXT held their Great American Bash, and as we mentioned in the preface here, I felt like the women's matches definitely held their own compared to the men. Um, the women were definitely A-plus matches, in my opinion. I thought Zarya did a great job retaining the championship over Tatum, and Kendall Gray, her momentum coming in to NXT from Evolve. Wow. I mean, what a way for her to come in, especially with the Kurt Angle theme, paying tribute to Kurt Angle and winning the NXT Women's Championship. I mean, you could not have two better women's matches than what we've seen in the past. But why don't we go ahead and start with the first match of that night, the NXT Championship. And I apologize, folks. I got to take a swig of water. Tony D'Angelo retains his NXT Championship over Naruku. Hopefully I pronounced that right because I'm not good with those names. But for those who don't know who Naruku is, he was formerly known as Evil in New Japan Wrestling. And he's always had kind of a mixed reaction with the IWC fan base. Some people like him, some people don't. I'm kind of indifferent. I feel he's got a good presence. I just think he needs to be a little more charismatic with the fans. But overall, this was a fantastic match. Tony still having the big gauze wrapped around his eye from injury. Still showing that he can still defend that and be a strong, powerful NXT champion. There's no other way you can elevate his character. And I think as long as he can still dominate with that championship for a little bit longer, I think we're going to see him be a good force when he gets ready for the main event or for the main roster level. Moving on, we had the Women's North American Championship. As we mentioned earlier, Zarya retains over Tatum Paxley. Both women gave it their all. This was a match that was given an A effort from Bleacher Report. And not very often I always agree with Bleacher Report, but this was a very well-deserved letter grade for this type of match. Zarya should be booked as someone who's going to be a dominant force. I wouldn't mind seeing her be one of the very few women in the division to not just hold the North American Championship, but while holding that, hopefully accomplish winning the NXT Women's Championship. I can see that happening. Whether that's the direction HBK will go, that'll be another story, another time. I would love to see Zarya be almost in some way the female Brock Lesnar of NXT. It can happen. You never know. Tatum Paxley, I mean, she's done great. She's had a killer year. Former NXT Women's Champion, now former NXT North American Women's Champion, or Women's North American Champion, however you want to throw it in there. I think she is about ready there to hit the main roster, and I think this was a proper way to say goodbye to her if that is the case. So great things coming for Tatum Paxley here in the future. Next match, Shiloh Hill defeating Tristan Angels. This match wasn't exactly the best. I would say definitely this was an average match. This is something I would love to see on normal weekly programming, even though this was pretty much a normal programming. It wasn't like a PLE event. I just feel this wasn't something for a special event. And Tristan Angels, I think he's going to be getting things going even more here for his NXT days. I think he's got a great character going. We just need to see what more they can creatively do for this guy. And going on to the next match, the Women's Speed Championship match, Rin Sinclair retains over Ariana Grace. I thought that was the right call. I'm not sure. I haven't really been big on Ariana Grace so far. I still think she's got a little bit of development to do before we can ever see another championship on her. Even though she's former TNA Knockouts champion, I would like to see a much more improvement for her. Not just following her dad's footsteps as far as, kind of a comedy act. I would like to see her step it up as an in-ring performer. For the next match, we had Saquon Sugars defeating Dion Lennox. This was kind of an interesting thing, especially for how they've been booking Dion Lennox as of late. Dion Lennox, who seemingly at some point had some conflict, maybe kind of going a little head over heels over the Dark State faction. He had some good momentum. He has been winning matches. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not sure if taking the loss to Saquon Sugars was the right move, but we'll see. Hopefully they can build something off of it. I don't think it hurts Dion in many ways, but it does take him a step down when it comes to having the win losses. But again, in WWE, win losses don't seem to be a big thing, where IWC kind of feel a little different. Just depends on your take on how you see people earn their shots up the ranks and for championship opportunities. I don't really have anything more on that match, but moving on to the North American Championship match, this was a very well competitive match between Miles Bourne and Tavian Heights, former members of the No Quarter Catch crew. Obviously, Miles Bourne, who's been a really good North American champion, gets the victory over his former stablemate there. And we've seen quite the display of respect after the match, the handshake. The only thing I was a little disappointed is this would have been the proper moment to have a heel turn by Tavian Heights, because you could see the camera was trying to stick it out and tease it in a way. But if you're going to do that, just go full on, get it, do the job. Not every time we see a match where it's between friends and very competitive, we always want to see a handshake. I mean, it's always a nice feeling to see that, because, as wrestling fans, not as people that pretend to know what's going on behind the scenes, I felt like this is the one thing where if you were going to do a twist, it would have been awesome to do it. And this could be something that may be happening maybe down the road. We don't know yet. But yeah, I think NXT missed quite the opportunity making that, not turning Tavion full on heel for this. And I hope it doesn't bite him in the future, because Tavion's got a great future. Miles has got a great future. We'll see how this ends up going after the event. And for the NXT Women's Championship, as we mentioned earlier, Kendall Gray defeats Lola Vice to become the new NXT Women's Champion. A lot of emotions go on this one. There's no doubt Kendall Gray has got quite the fan base going since her Evolve days and coming into the NXT roster. Lola Vice, who just literally won that championship not too long ago. I mean, I believe this was her, I can't remember if this was her first title defense or if it's been multiple, and I apologize because I need to follow the NXT product a little better. But after watching this match, I feel like short title reigns do not do any championships justice. If you want them to mean something, I think you definitely need to get those title reigns a little higher in the days to make it feel a little more special. And I'm not taking anything away from Kendall Gray or Lola Vice. They put on one hell of a match. I feel Kendall's just been in NXT not quite as long as where I feel some of the other competitors could have definitely. I feel like they've earned that opportunity a little more than others. But again, we're going to see something interesting here as we see Natty came into Robert Stone's office and put a challenge out there to challenge Kendall Gray next for that NXT Women's Championship. This will be a fun match to watch. Natty, who's a very seasoned veteran and who's done a lot of great things for WWE and as well as outside WWE, training other female wrestlers. Kendall Gray, who's probably one of the most gifted and athletic female women wrestlers out there today. I think these two will get very technical, and it's going to be what Jim Ross calls a slobber knocker between two of the toughest women in WWE and NXT today. So with Natty's character kind of evolving into a much more no nonsense, tough girl, taking crap from no one, and I'm going to start taking things from everyone. I think this is going to get very, very brutal here between these two. So keep tuned. We're going to see a lot of great things again. But before I move on to the Forbidden Door results, again, we're live here on the at WFI Pod on the X, as well as on our YouTube channel. Follow that at Wrestling Fans Insight, and be sure to spell insight the correct ways you see on your screens. Also, again, we're on the X app. Follow me, John, at WFI Pod. Also at FOPW Network, I'm the admin for the Fans of Pro Wrestling Network. William, you can catch him once in every 8 months at William Hoppy 8. And also our tag team partner, the Brian Adkins, Brian the Hype Ballard. He is on there every once in a while. Hopefully he's going to be making a comeback here shortly. And also check out and participate in our X community for the Fans of Pro Wrestling. You can see it spotlighted both at FOPW Network and at WFI Pod. And be sure to join Carlos during Mondays and Wednesdays. Mondays after Raw, Wednesdays after AEW Dynamite. He hosts the Raw Reactions with Carlos and Wednesday Night Chaos. You can check him out at C to the LOS 77 and at Conquer the No. He's also part of the Wrestle Collective. Be sure to go check out the Wrestle Collective stuff. You can check out their account at DUBC Worldwide on the X app. Also, Brian, the Hype Ballard, has his Tap Out Talk on YouTube. Go check it out at Tap Out Talk. Go check out his presentations. Again, he's had an interview with both Layla and Tito Santana in the last year or so. Really great job. I got to be a part of the backstage on that. And Brian did such a really wonderful job with these two individuals. Hopefully we'll be doing some more interviews here shortly, as he's got a couple lined up. And as time comes, we'll announce them. And also we have a group chat on the X. You can check it out for the Fans of Pro Wrestling. Just get with me, Carlos, or Brian on X. Just DM us and we can tell you how to join. But also, in order to DM us, you need to follow us. So be sure to follow us there as well. All right. Now that's been a mouthful, and I apologize. I'm going to take one more swig of water here, and we're going to get right into the Forbidden Door results. All right. And I cannot believe we actually have gone 34 minutes. Normally, I'd probably take us off the air if this happened, but we're going to continue on. William would have wanted it to go on, I'm sure. So, Forbidden Door, this was a really great event. Again, Tony Khan never ceases to amaze anyone because, you know, he goes on pretty much from start to finish, from the buy-in all the way to the very end at night. And I know a lot of people, for some people, it's hard because it can take up a lot of time, and it does. But you know what? For what you pay for a pay-per-view and the amount of matches, man, you can never beat AEW event. So going on to the first buy-in event, and I apologize if I butcher the names. Drea Maloney from New Japan defeats the Death Riders, Daniel Garcia. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Very fantastic match. And the nice thing about Forbidden Door, folks, is you get 4 promotions in one. So if you're not checking these out, you need to. Forbidden Door is definitely one of those events where you see talent from 4 different promotions, maybe more, depending how Tony can get them booked. Going on to the next match, Micah defeating Sky Blue. A little disappointed because I feel Sky Blue's on quite the losing streak since she's come back, especially as a single star. I think we need to get some more wins for her going on in. But nonetheless, you can't take anything away from Micah either. Great talent. Be sure to go check her out at Stardom. Also, for the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship, Divine Dominion, the team of Megan Bayne and Lena Cross, they retain over Thunder Rosa and Olympia. I can't really say was surprised to see the outcome on this. Divine Dominion is just, they are very dominant force right there. Two Amazon women that can pretty much almost take on even the men's division if they really wanted to. That's how scary these two ladies can be. But take nothing away from Thunder Rosa or Olympia either. Those two have done some great stuff with CMLL. Thunder Rosa, who's a former AEW Women's Champion, by the way. I would love to see her kind of get a little more involved in the singles division again. I would like to see her try to get ranked up there and get into the Women's World Championship picture, but time will tell on that one. For the third buy-in match, that was the third buy-in match. Now we're going on to the main pay-per-view. For the 3-way tag team match, the Young Bucks defeat the Sky Team, which was Mystico and Mascara Dorada versus Unbound Company, Shingo Takagi, and I want to say Titan, but I'm sure it's Titani. Sorry, butchered the name again. Not really good with names because I know they pronounce them on TV, but I still can never repeat them right. Great tag team match overall. Excellent display from 3 different promotions here. Not a little surprised. I was hoping they were going to go with Mystico and Dorada. William picked the Young Bucks. William again chooses right. Kind of hard to pick against company guys sometimes, but you never know. I thought it would have been a great way to kind of pay tribute to some of the other promotions. This one was definitely a shocker for me and William because we both picked Zack Sabre Jr. to win. Unfortunately, this was Zack Sabre Jr.'s first loss at Forbidden Door. And Kenny Omega, the cleaner, gets that victory over him. Now has a little bit of momentum trying to, make a clear case. He should be right up there to challenge MJF for the AEW World Championship. However, it looks like after Dynamite this week, that is going to be happening. However, a stipulation, much like Hangman Adam Page, if Kenny Omega does not win, he cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship any longer. And this is going to be really interesting because we've seen how well that's panned out for Cody Rhodes and now Hangman Adam Page. I hope this doesn't bite Kenny in the butt. As we know, he's getting up there in the years. But I think right now, if Kenny Omega pulls it off, we're going to have a great match at All In Wembley Stadium, as we all know who will be the challenger based off the main event, and we'll get to that later in this show. Actually, later in this segment. But yeah, Zack Sabre Jr., don't take anything away from him. He is a hell of a competitor, former IWGP World Champion. I think before long, we'll see even more of him here in AEW. I would like to see him eventually jump ship to AEW because I think he's one of the best technical wrestlers right now overall. For the AEW Continental Championship, Jon Moxley of the Death Riders retained over Bandito, which was a really fantastic match. Jon Moxley definitely showing his sign of respect to Bandito, who gave him one hell of an effort. Bandito came so close on 3 occasions to take that championship off John. But this is the thing I love about the AEW Continental Championship matches is they're one-on-one, nobody can be ringside. So there's no excuse why you can't win cleanly. I mean, obviously you can still find a way to cheat, but if you cheat, it's on your own, not necessarily relying on friends or stablemates or anything like that. And right now, I think John Moxley's done a really great job making that title very prestigious for AEW because right now, in some sense of the way, I kind of feel that championship's got a little more value than the AEW World Championship, which should never happen. Your World Championship should always hold the most value in anything. And right now, I feel John Moxley doing such a wonderful job retaining that Continental Championship. It'll be interesting to see who actually can take it from him. Only time will tell. Going into the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, Shota Umino defeating Pac. William and I both were going for Pac on this because we felt he's needed some singles gold, but we should have also known better because Shota Umino also won this championship just not too long ago. So, Shota is a great talent in New Japan. You're going to see him hold on to that Global Heavyweight Championship for a while, I guarantee you. AEW Women's World Championship, Tekla, the champion, retaining over the Starlight Kid. Tekla still giving her grief to the Stardom president and also the Starlight Kid. She she pretty much made her feelings well established right there. And if you watch Dynamite this past week, she continued on with the insult to injury, but she's ready to take on almost anyone. So I think Tekla is doing a wonderful job. She's grown on me quite a bit. At first, I was a little weird on her, but after all this time has passed now since she's first debuted in AEW, I mean, the stock is going to keep going up for her. And I think she's going to be somebody that can elevate that women's championship even more the longer she can hold on to it. Going on to the AEW World Tag Team Championship, the team of Christian Cage and Adam Copeland defeat the team of the Dogs with the help of, the returning Jay White. Pardon me, folks. Got a lot of talking going on here, but yeah, seeing the surprise return of Jay White come in and gets a little bit of revenge on David Finlay Jr. For many who don't know, there's a lot of history there with David Finlay Jr. turning his back on Jay White in New Japan with the Bullet Club deal there. Man, it just shows you that AEW knows how to bring in some of that long-term storytelling, and it's great. Jay White, who at first I thought was an interesting character because, he doesn't fit your typical mold as a professional wrestler when he first started. But this guy I'll tell you, he has definitely improved over the years. He is a great wrestler. And I think we're going to see him back, hopefully in the world title picture, hopefully within the next year or so. Give it some time here since he just barely came back from an injury, 459 days. Man, I'll tell you, that's quite a time away to be for an injury. And it's almost pretty similar to Kevin Owens, who I believe is about that same time frame as well in the WWE. I think hopefully in due time, Kevin Owens will be back, maybe be the first to challenge Sami Zayn, or will not be the first, but eventually challenge Sami Zayn for that championship. But anyways, back to the AEW things. I thought it was the right move to keep the championships on Cage and Copeland for a little while longer here. The question is, who should be the team that defeats Cope and Cage? Right now, I'm having a blank because I don't know a proper team. to take it off of him unless you want to go back to FTR, but I don't know if FTR is quite ready to regain those. You never know. Moving on to the next match, the women's Owen Hart tournament final. Mercedes Moné making it back-to-back tournament wins, defeating Maya World. And she will now challenge, more than likely, Tekla at All In. I'm not sure if that's the projected plan yet. I imagine it would be. But Mercedes Moné now has that AEW Women's World title opportunity. And I think if anything, she should be the one to defeat Tekla for that AEW Women's World Championship. But we'll see here. Again, like I said, I'm always a fan of seeing longer title runs. Tekla, who's, again, been doing a wonderful job. Mercedes came up short against Timeless Tony Storm last year. I don't think that will happen again this year, but time will tell. We'll see what direction Tony Khan wants to go in. But I think if you're going to pull the trigger for Mercedes to be the top woman in the women's division of AEW, now's the time to do it. And what was the most interesting match for Forbidden Door, the 12-man cage match? The team of Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Darby Allin, and Konosuke Takeshita defeats the team of MJF, Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher, Kazuchika Okada, Jake Doyle, and the factor of who helped Team Briscoe and Conglomeration win, Andrade El Idolo. And can't say nobody saw this coming because we've seen it in the previous few weeks where MJF and Andrade have had their differences. And you could see that Andrade has not been happy with Don Callis for the last couple of weeks. He's been feeling a lot of conflicts because he felt Don Callis should be having his back. So Andrade should have his shot at the AEW World Championship. It finally came back and bit the Don Callis family and MJF in the ass. I mean, it is what it is, but deservingly so. I think Andrade has made a fair case why he deserves a shot. But, he definitely showed his true colors when he pretty much kicked Jake Doyle right in the nuts. And, we had pretty much the backhand right to MJF. And then he reveals, fuck Don Callis, fuck Jim MJF shirt. I think the feelings were pretty clear right there. And thanks to Andrade El Idolo, team Mark Briscoe gets the victory. Mark Briscoe got his shot this Wednesday at Dynamite. Unfortunately, came up short against MJF. Kenny Omega is now next in line for MJF's World Championship, his Triple B. Yeah, sorry, one more swig. I apologize. But now going on to the main event for the men's Owen Hart tournament final, we see Will Ospreay, accompanied by the Death Riders, defeats Swerve Strickland for that final, for the Owen Hart final championship, and now has that AEW World Championship opportunity at All In at Wembley Stadium. And I definitely love how this story has turned out with Will Ospreay coming back, trying to get his revenge on the Death Riders, only to now have the Death Riders help him be the competitor he is now, and to be a little more in tune with understanding that you need to focus on yourself. Don't focus on what others say. Get out there, get the job done, put in the work, and you eventually you will get rewarded with the things that you're going after. And I love the fact that when Will Ospreay even questioning himself during this whole storyline, I think he is a whole different competitor than what we're used to seeing. And I think the fact that him going deep down, digging finding himself, especially down in the dark pits. Will Ospreay, I think we got a good feeling that he could end up winning the AEW World Championship. However, I could see different things happen too with this. Could the Death Riders possibly turn at him and all in if he doesn't win? Could the Death Riders be a factor of him winning the World Championship? Who knows? Especially for the amount of work that they were putting in to get that championship away from John Moxley and the Death Riders. I worry this could possibly be something like a sneak attack or even something revengeful against Will Ospreay. Even though Will Ospreay wasn't there when Hangman Adam Page ended up taking that championship from John, he was obviously a factor in getting the AEW troops behind Hangman to get it. So, but that was a lot of talking, especially by myself. I'm sorry you folks had to put up with my rambling, and I hope you all had a great last weekend of watching wrestling. I hope all of our American friends here, especially yesterday, had a great celebration of the 4th of July, 250 years here. And I hope it was all a safe holiday. None of you lost any digits, lighting fireworks and whatnot. But most of all, I want to give some shout outs here before I take off for the day. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the Wager Wire community. All of you guys have been wonderful. Sorry, I haven't been around for the spaces lately. I've been kind of getting a little more involved with the camping ham and all that. But I'm hoping to be tackling back on X here with some lame posts. I'm sure everyone will say, you're engagement farming. No, it's not that. I'm just having fun on X, folks. I know my presence hasn't been very well on there, but we're going to hopefully change that here shortly. Also want to give a shout out once again to the Wrestle Collective. Follow them at DubC Worldwide on the X app. Again, they do some fantastic wrestling content, whether it's an X space, on the YouTube, on Discord. Go check them out. Great bunch of guys there and gals, especially with our friend Carlos, who started with us here at the Fans of Pro Wrestling when we did the Wrestling Fans Insight a few years ago. Carlos has really bloomed out there, and I can never say enough great things about what he's done for the IWC and the Twitter community, X and Twitter community for wrestling. Be sure to go support that guy. He deserves all the love. He's put in so much work. And go check him out at C to the OS 77 and his nonprofit at Conquer the No. Another group I want to say thank you to, the DWE Radio, Miami the Great, Final Boss Lady, EVP CJ. They do some wonderful content on YouTube, X. EVP CJ, who's now getting more into the news side of things. Be sure to go check him out. Subscribe to him. He's only $3 a month. There's some great things he's going to be coming out with, and he's really putting in a lot of work. Go support those guys. Also, want to shout out to Sage Up Network. Great community there, always talking about the sports and whatnot. Be sure to go check out his spaces. Looks like he's getting a little more consistent out there again with doing a lot of X spaces at S_U_network. Go check him out. Great guy. And furthermore, also some other great, not wrestling, but great podcasts out there. Jim over there at Fan in the Van. Two Dudes Sports News. Galen and Garrett and Jalen. I'm having tongue twisters today. Be sure to go check out Aaron at Brutally Honest Sports, Nate's Daily Wager, Average Joe Sports, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. Go check out Visit Vegas Places with Coil. I'm sure I missed quite a few more. Steel and Teal Pod will probably be back, both Garrett and Jim. They do, once the football season starts hitting they're out there giving their takes on a lot of the football shenanigans going on, but also the greater things that do happen in the NFL. So, anyways, also shout out to my brother William, who obviously was not able to make it. He's probably pissed off. I haven't checked the text yet. I'm sure he's cursing a storm. But William, thank you for trying to join me this week. Hopefully we get you back here and get you live in the photo or in the video here with me. Once again, shout out to our friend and tag team partner, Brian, the Hype Ballard. You follow him on the X again at the Brian Adkins, Brian with a Y, by the way. And other than that, I have nothing else. We'll be back again next Sunday here live. And I hope that you all have a great week of wrestling. I'm sure we'll get a little more into the next upcoming WWE Saturday night's main event, which will be airing July 18th. So without any further ado, my babbling's done. I will see you all next Sunday. Take care, everybody.